Howdy, and welcome to this episode of From the Archives. November 11th is Veterans Day, so in this episode, we'll be examining the partnership between our organization and all the branches of our nation's armed forces.
War Against Polio, USA, 1954.
The early years of our history coincided with World War II, and our founder, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, was Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Armed Forces. We have original correspondence documenting both FDR's support of the war effort and the NFIP. Basil O'Connor was simultaneously president of the NFIP and the American National Red Cross, and he visited both the European and Pacific theaters during the war. An early research grant was awarded to Dr. John Paul and Dr. Albert Sabin to find out why American GIs in Egypt contracted polio when native populations seemed immune to the disease. The National Foundation created and maintained an Armed Forces Division, also known as the Armed Forces March of Dimes, that coordinated fundraising efforts with the U.S. Army and other branches of the U.S. military. The Armed Forces Division was active during the 1950s, but fundraising through the military began immediately after the war in 1945. After the war, March of Dimes' relationship with the military continued with the Military Air Transport Service, or MATS. MATS was a standing agreement of the March of Dimes with the U.S. Air Force to airlift iron lung respirators to epidemic areas and even individuals with paralytic polio to hospitals for special care. In this photo, Greta Wilkinson is ferried by a C-54 transport plane from Asheville, North Carolina to Nashville, Tennessee. MATS cargo aircraft even shipped iron lungs to a polio epidemic in Japan in 1961. During the 1950s, the NFIP organized vaccination programs for military personnel and their families, from the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard Dispensary to the U.S. Army Hospital at West Point. If you dig enough through the archives, you can find a treasure trove of photographs depicting U.S. Army planes, hospitals, nurses, Army officers, and soldiers, with poster children and National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis officials. Some of the more noteworthy photos are Lieutenant General George Patton and Basil O'Connor discuss Red Cross activities by the General's three-star Jeep in the closing year of the war. Basil O'Connor routinely visited wounded soldiers in the military hospitals as he toured the front, and his experience with the logistics of medical operations during the war were invaluable in later national efforts at home against polio. This photo depicts FDR receiving a check for $19,438 from Persian Gulf soldiers on March 21, 1945, about a month before his death. In this photo, sailors appear in formation, spelling out March of Dimes, on deck aboard the aircraft carrier, the USS Franklin D. Roosevelt. The ship was the first aircraft carrier named in honor of an American statesman and was in commission from 1945 to 1977. Today, March of Dimes markets organize baby showers for military moms. Over the years, we've partnered with companies like Kmart, the PGA, Philips, and even the Freemasons to help give these moms a baby shower they deserve.
We put this program together. The March of Dimes does the educational piece and almost all the work to put the shower together with help from the people at the base. And the Pennsylvania Masons are funding the entire project. And what we're doing is providing an educational proponent to these young airmen that are having these children, as well as helping to fund the first year of life for their new child.
When military members understand that there are people who are not in the military, who have no real affiliation with the military, are thinking about them and are concerned about them, that is something that is really wonderful.
Okay, so the Colonel's going to pick a winner to see who has won the gift card and the car seat. Drum roll, anyone?
Is that right?
That's right. That is correct.
All right, the winner is, it says everybody in the room gets one.
They just gave us a lot of awesome stuff, and it just took a lot of the burden off of us financially, I think, so it's been really great.
We're providing a lot of necessities, car seats, strollers, gift cards so they can buy formula diapers, whatever they need. We did this to help these people and to help bring this child in to an environment where they have all the safety and everything that they need to raise the child.
Well, that's it for today's episode of From the Archives. A huge thank you to all who have served this country. I hope you learned something today, And if you have any questions about the archives, feel free to drop a comment in the chat. Until next time, thanks for watching.